Some of the ideas in this video will either get a "you go girl" or they will stick in your craw.
And if that's the case, don't worry. They were a little hard for us to swallow too.
Even though money management and frugal living have been our constant companions for the past 25 years, they have not always been our friend, because we've been debt-free for the past 25 years. But when Larry retired at the end of last year, we realized that we had some hard truths about frugality and money management that we really needed to face.
In case you don't know us, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality.
Today we will share some facts about how we've learned to use money, to budget wisely, and to approach frugal living. And throughout the video, we're going to give you some examples from our life of what we would do differently if we had to do it all over again.
Stick with us, because we're going to reveal the most important lesson that we've learned in this journey.
Truth number one. Money is a tool. It's a means to an end. And one of the things that we always talked to our kids about as they were growing up was the fact that money is a great tool. But when money becomes the end, like the only thing that you are looking for, then that becomes a huge problem, because you begin to put money not in its proper place, but you begin to elevate it to being your everything.
And if you elevate it to become your everything, you can end up becoming a Scrooge, where you just take your hands and run your fingers through all the coins that you have.
I have been so guilty of this, especially when the kids were growing up, because my first question when they said, "Can I do XYZ?" was never, "Tell me why you want to do that. Tell me why it's important to you." It was always, "Tell me what this is going to cost us."
You have to remember that the more money you have does not necessarily mean the more happy that you're going to be.
Not only does money not really make you happier, the more money you make does not mean that people are going to treat you any differently than they treat you now. Having money is not equal with respect. And I think in terms of what we would do differently if we had to do it all over again, when it comes to just really expecting that people will respect us, most of the time, to be honest with you, if you're learning to manage money well, most people either aren't going to know, and it's not necessarily that they're going to care. We assumed that respect would come with money, but what we needed to understand is that we needed to start with respecting ourselves first, and realizing that no matter how much money we made, we were worthy of people treating us with respect.
Remember that your budget and your personal style of money management is your own. No one else is going to understand what you're doing. They don't know your situation. They don't know what goals you have in mind. So basically, you can tune them out, especially if they're being critical on what you're doing.
Truth number 6, frugality really helps you to prioritize both your spending and your saving. Now, never was this more clear to us than when we took on the great big goal of paying cash for this house. And never before and never since have we ever prioritized to the degree that we prioritized during that time period. Now, if you want a really good idea of what the kind of things were that we decided that we would just cut off of our budget in order to reach our goal, we wrote it all down in the ebook. It's 10 ways to radically reduce your expenses. I give you step-by-step instructions for each tip, as well as checklists. It's all in the free ebook. That ebook, you can request it. There'll be a link in the description of the video.
Frugality is a journey. You have to take it a step at a time. It won't always feel good, and it won't always be easy. And it's all about choices. And it's especially about small, minuscule choices that add up to big savings and help your money go a lot further.
And that's why we will tell you this. It's all about the goals. People don't like to hear about goals. They do love to hear about ways to save money, but when we start saying, and you need to have goals for what to do with that money after you save it, people tend to tune out, which is a shame, because we could teach you frugal skills all day long, but unless we put it together with that whole idea of the goal side of it, what you're going to do with that money after you save it, then really we're doing you a disservice and not teaching you the whole pieces of the puzzle.
Not everything that you do on this journey is going to work. And sometimes we tend to focus on the negative things, the things that don't work. But this journey is all about what does work. And I would advise that we focus on all the things that we're doing that are working for us.
That's why we are huge fans of like gratitude journals. And it doesn't have to be like a journal where you write things down every night that you're grateful for. Start the week on Monday. Start with your big 3 goals. What are the 3 major things you would love to accomplish this week when it comes to frugality or your finances? Write those top 3 things down. Y'all know that we are super big on prioritizing like everything in life. But once you've written those 3 things, go ahead and write the 3 things for which you are most grateful for in your life during this week. And another group of 3 would be the 3 things that you did last week that really, really worked or really felt good and felt right for you when it comes to your money and frugality. Start off the week that way and you'll be amazed at how much better the week will seem to go, even if things go wrong, because you're focusing on the things that are going right and not constantly focusing on the things that aren't working the way that you thought they would.
And this process, too, is all about flexibility. Sometimes we like to just get rigid and have a black and white plan, and we've made the plan, and we're sticking to the plan, and nothing's going to take us off of that plan, but maybe the plan's not working, and that's where we need to be flexible. We might have to make an adjustment here or there on the way and make it work that way. You know, when you're driving, sometimes the road's closed because they're working on it, and you have to take a detour, but you still arrive at the same destination. And that's what it means to be flexible.
To go along with that is sort of a thought about frugality that we have learned over and over and over again in the past 30 years. And that's what we like to call when the river dries up. There's always something that you're doing that you're like, ooh, I'm scoring big on this. It's frugal. I'm saving money, saving money, saving money. And then all of a sudden, it comes to a screeching halt because that avenue of saving money is no longer available to you. And that's happened a lot to us. And we just look at each other and say, well,
look for another river.
Look for another river. Because there's always another way to save. But if you get fixated on this isn't working anymore, then you're going to stay stuck there. You need to just figure out, river dried up, go around it, find another river. What are other ways that you can accomplish that same goal and get to the same purpose?
Maybe you've come to a place in your journey where you feel like you've just fallen short. You didn't meet your goals. You're not making it. This isn't working. And you might feel kind of down about it and maybe even depressed. And that might be a good time to get with your frugal friends and talk with them. I think you'll find that the things that are going on in your life are pretty common to most all of us. And there's always a way to get back on the path and get back to that frugality that you've been walking in.
This actually just happened to us, and we shared about it on a video just a week or 2 ago. We had a goal to lower our utility bill by a certain percentage and get to a certain number, and we did not make it. And we talked really openly on that video about the process we went through and how we felt when we realized we weren't going to make it to our goal. I'm going to make sure, in case that would be encouraging to you, that video is up above, and I'll also put it in the description of the video.
And if you like what you've been seeing so far, give us a like. And if you're not subscribed to Under the Median, subscribe.
This next point about frugality is one that if we had to do it all over again, here's how we would do it differently. Going through this journey of frugality, and especially raising 4 kids without taking on any debt on our income level, we had some family members that weren't huge fans.
Yeah.
And if we had to do it all over again, listen carefully, we would care less about what they thought about our frugal plans, and we would care more about how those plans were working for us. I think we would reach a goal and we would expect them to go, yes, that is amazing. No, they didn't do that. They were expecting us to do something completely different, and they were frustrated when we didn't go the direction they thought that we should. The other thing that I think that we would do differently, definitely, is we would be more honest with our family and our friends. We would be honest enough to say, I'm sorry, we've already spent all of our allocated money for entertainment this month. we can't really go out to dinner with you. And we finally got to a point of saying, we appreciate you guys. We think you're wonderful people, but we cannot continue to go out to eat with you every single month. Be honest with people. But the next thing that kind of dovetails into that is be gracious with your family and friends. And finally, be honest, be gracious, and be generous. And we often think of generosity in terms of money. But I think generosity also comes in terms of being just very kind to them, spreading goodwill to them, and also being willing to say, I can't go out to dinner with you guys, but when you're done, would you please just come hang out with us at our house? We'll put the kids down for an early bedtime and we'll all have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and we'll sit around and chat. And making yourself available in ways that still show them that they are valued to you.
Remember that you decide what frugality looks like to you and your family. You guys are playing the role in deciding exactly how that's going to look.
Okay, I'm just going to jump up just really quickly. I won't stay here long on my frugality soapbox. There are times in the frugality community where we make it very clear that our expectations for everybody that calls themselves frugal is to act in this way, to spend money in this way, to never, for heaven's sake, spend money in this way. And what happens is we take something that should be a pretty big umbrella where we're all living together in community and learning from one another, and we shrink it. And we shrink it because our attitude is, if you don't practice frugality the way I do, you're not under the umbrella. And Larry and I, as you probably know if you've watched this channel for any length of time, we are huge, big umbrella people. So big umbrella, guys. Big umbrella. All right, there's the soapbox. I'm putting it away.
We've mentioned this before on previous videos, but frugality is not about deprivation. Just because you choose to save money and cut back, maybe let's say on eating out, doesn't mean you deprive yourself of other nice things that you can have in your life, like maybe some nice patio furniture or that vacation that you want to take overseas or to another part of this country. So it's just a matter of how you want to spend your money.
It's time for another what Hope and Larry would do differently if we had to do it all over again. This do differently has to do with the fact that we spent a lot of time saying no. If we had to do it all over again, we would say no less often. We would say, tell us why that's important to you, and we would have spent a lot more time brainstorming ways that we could say yes.
So basically, rather than saying no a lot like we were doing, we would try to find out a way to get to a yes. It may take a little more time, but we didn't work as hard on that as we would have liked to have done.
I'll do another what we would do differently if we had to do it all over again. If we had to do it all over again, we would have challenged ourselves more. We look back honestly on the first few years of our married life, and we see a lot of places, a lot of ways that we spent money that honestly, we maybe shouldn't have spent it. We maybe should have challenged ourselves to higher goals, to bigger goals, to goals related to time, because frankly, first 3 or 4 years of marriage, we had 0 goals. And it showed the fact that we didn't have any goals that we were really working towards. So had we do it all over again, we would definitely have dreamed bigger and we would have challenged ourselves to do more. The next hard truth about frugality and managing money is your attitude counts. If you walk in to any situation believing that you can't do it, you probably won't. But the chances are, if you walk into a situation saying, I am going to do this, it doesn't matter what obstacles come in my way, I'm going to figure out how to make this happen, chances are much, much higher you're actually going to reach that goal. Your attitude, folks, it counts.
You can have it all, but maybe not at the same time. Well, what do we mean by that? Of course, we don't mean it all. But let's say you have 5 goals in mind. Maybe you can't obtain all 5 goals at the same time. So just center on a couple of them, meet those goals, and then go on to the last 3. So it's a little bit of prioritizing which one is the most important to you. And over time, you can meet all of those goals and thus accomplish everything that you had in mind to do with your money.
Here's the next thing we found out along the way. And this one was actually pretty cool for us, guys. I'm not going to lie. Along the way somewhere, I don't know where it happened, not only did we not want to keep up with the Joneses, we didn't care that we weren't keeping up with the Joneses. It didn't honestly matter to us at all.
As we came to terms with our own successes and failures, we developed a compassion for others. We looked at other people who were struggling, maybe didn't have it even as easy as we did, and we came alongside and gave a little helping hand when we could.
And this is the next point we really want to make about frugality and about money management. And that's the fact, and this is so like, to us, there's very few things on this channel where we say, you guys really need to do this. But this is one of those few times when we're going to tell you, we really think you need to do this. In your spending plan, you need to make sure that you make room for giving to others. Generosity is so important. Even when we were living on very little, really serving others, super important, because it will help you to not look so closely and myopically at your own struggles. It will remind you that there are other people in the world that can also use your help. Switching gears just a little bit, one of the things you learn as you go through the journey of frugality is the fact that it's always a good idea to sleep on it. That has saved us so much money by just saying, we think we want to buy this, but we're just going to sleep on it. That's a great frugality, lesson to be learned.
And we learned it the hard way by not sleeping on one major purchase we've talked about. We won't go into the salad master pans on this video, we promise. But that was a big mistake. We didn't sleep on it, and we bought the farm.
Never make money decisions when you are stressed or overly tired. Don't do it. It will not go well for you.
Listen to the advice of others, but don't always take it. If the advice doesn't fit your situation, then put it on the table and don't worry about it. Look for things that will fit what you're doing and implement what you feel is right for you and your family.
This next one is, I think, also vitally important to remember. One of the things we have learned in 35 years of frugality and money management is that we don't know it all. No, we do not know it all. Nobody knows it all. If you ever get in a position of thinking that you know it all, look around, because you'll find you don't know it all. It is so important for us. And I don't, tell us in the comments, do you think this is like just a frugal thing? I think frugal people are always really looking for different ideas, new ways of looking at the same situation, new ways to save money, just all kinds of different ideas. We love to find out more frugal ideas from other folks, and that reminds us we literally don't know it all.
Along with that, I would like to say this. The more that I learn, the more I find out how much I don't know. One of the most important aspects of frugality is that frugality will change your life. It will open up opportunities to you that you never could have had before. It will take you to places that you didn't think that you could go.
There were so many times in 35 years of marriage where I said, let's try to reach this goal. And he would look at me and say, I literally don't see it. I don't know if we can do that or not. But I was like, let's do it. Let's work together. Let's try to reach the goal. Frugality works, guys, because here's the truth of the matter. If frugality didn't work, if we didn't look you in the eye and say, yes, frugality, saving money, being careful, having goals has gotten us to where we are today, and that's in a totally different place than we were 35 years ago, why would you listen to us? If we were still stuck at $5 in the bank, frugality works.
If you feel like frugality is not working out for you, Hope and I did a video where we discussed the topic and we addressed issues that may not be working and how to get them working. If you want to see that video, it's right over there.
People aren't necessarily going to treat you any differently than they treat
That happens too, quite often in our home.